बचाव।
Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Mr. Abhishek Rastogi. He's founder Rastogi Chambers. Mr. Rastogi, thank you so much for joining us. And the conversation is on a news break that came in from my colleague Timsi. This is on sugar exporters now approaching Gujarat High Court on denial of the RoDTEP benefits. This has been done since 1st of June 2022. And the denial also comes in as the sugar has been moved from OGL to under restricted category. It is now on quota basis and is the reason there is no benefit that the sugar exporters until now were deriving out of this. Mr. Rastogi, first of all, what's your sense? Because the law is quite clear on the fact that whatever is in a restricted category does not get the benefit of RoDTEP. But with the sugar exporters now approaching Gujarat High Court, what's your sense on where does the case really stand?
I think we will have to understand the entire controversy from 2-3 perspectives. One, what is the objective of this RoDTEP scheme? This is remission of duties and taxes for exported products. Now, this scheme is as per the WTO norms. And the objective of this scheme is that the export competitiveness of Indian exporters have to be at par when we are compared to different countries, especially our neighboring countries. At the same time, the objective remains that there must not be any tax cascading which happens. So any element of input taxes which are not recovered by the Indian exporters, there is a scientific mechanism to derive the percentage of those taxes, and hence these exporters are eligible. It could be different. Rice would be at 1%, sugar will be at 0.5%. And I am reiterating the fact that this is all as per the WTO global norms today. So India is working today as per the global standards.
Sure.
Now let's come to the problem. The problem is that, of course, this category of sugar has moved from free category to restricted category. And that was to ensure that the domestic demand of sugar, the price of sugar for indigenous consumption is not raised. And, there is appropriate supply. So we need to maintain the amount which we export outside. And hence, when these exports now happen, these happen with permission. These happens with quota limits.
Right.
So if I am a manufacturer of 1,000 tons, my quota could be only 60 tons to export it, which means that I will have to supply both in domestic market to cater to the domestic needs and export. Now this restriction from the perspective of quota has come to meet the domestic demands. But that does not mean that this restriction would give me the side effect of denial of the RoDTEP scheme or the remission of duties, because that is as per the global standards.
Right.
That is as per the WTO norms. And hence, today, what we are arguing before Gujarat High Court is that the objective of the scheme, which is framed to keep global competitiveness in mind, which is in line with the principles of the Indian Constitution that taxes cannot be exported, can this benefit be denied to the Indian sugar exporters is the short question which we are raising before the Honorable.
Absolutely, I get that. Abhishek, also, this is again as per what Timsi said, that the Gujarat High Court has now asked the Government of India, DGFT and CBIC to respond. So how many days do they get? And the valid question that you're posting as well, how do you see all of these agencies responding to this?
So I think our government has been very pragmatic when it comes to exporters. I think, to me, it feels that this was an unintended omission. They wanted to control the export of sugars, but to do that, there is some lacuna which has been left in the foreign trade policy. We must need, and the government will completely realize that through our writ petitions, is that the Appendix 4R, which prescribes the rate of remission for the export of sugars, is still unamended, which means that the intention somewhere is to give benefit to our Indian sugar exporters. That is one. And even for that matter, if we see prohibited goods are defined. Now, if you meet the conditions, you can export even prohibited goods and get all the benefits. Now, restricted category is not as harsh as prohibited goods. And hence, the moot point which arises is that if restricted goods are allowed to be exported with conditions, will these fall within the restricted category at all? So I think while the respondents will file counter affidavit to our writ petitions, but I think keeping the pragmatism in mind, we are expecting a solution from the government.
So not all hope is lost when it comes to sugar as an industry.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. to both of you. Well, for now, let's take a short break on that note. On the other side of the break, more on the markets, which is under pressure now. So the Nifty is now the lowest point of trade. The sell-on rally is something that has taken place once again. Sensex is